In this class, we are going to see the program for performing insertion and deletion in a heap tree. First, we will see the memory representation of a given heap tree. So here I have considered a max heap. We can even consider a min heap. So in this totally, I have 5 nodes. They are stored at the index starting from 0 up to 4. And I have created an array with the maximum size as 20. In that array, all the nodes are stored in this. So totally, I have at the index 66, 66 is stored at the index 0, then 55 at index 1, and so on. And if you consider this particular tree, every parent will be having value greater when compared to its children because it is a max heap. Now in this, currently I am having 5 nodes in this max heap, so I can say that the size of the current max heap is 5. But I have allocated maximum size for the array as 20. That means at the maximum I can have 20 nodes in this particular heap. More than that I cannot store because it is a static memory allocation. Now let us see how to perform the insert operation. I want to insert 77 to this particular tree. First, what we will be doing is, since our nodes are already stored starting from index 0 up to 4, I'm going to insert the new node at the next index. That is, at the index 5, I'm going to insert the new node. So now 77 is inserted at the index 5. After that, it is satisfying the first requirement of the max heap, that is, the tree should be a complete binary tree. You can't insert a node at any position as you like. A node should be inserted only at the last level as the last node. So 77 is inserted at the index 5 because till the index 4 we have some nodes. So it is inserted at the next index. So this is the first step we have to do. After we insert a new node at the next index, then we have to start the bubbling up process. That is, we have to compare a new node with its parent till we reach the root level. So what I'm going to now do is, I'm going to compare 77 with its parent. For that, I'm going to use the formula to calculate the address of the parent. If a node is stored at the index I, a parent will be stored at the index I minus 1 by 2. So here, node is stored at the index 5. So I have to compare with its parent, which is stored at the index 5 minus 1 by 2. That is 4 by 2, answer will be 2. So in this array, I'll compare here 5 with 2, array of 2. Okay, so let me explain here. The same is done in the array representation also. So we will compare 77 and 44, then we will perform the swapping if 77 is greater than its parent. Okay, so when we do that, 77 will go to this particular position. So you can come see the next slide. In the next slide, I have swapped 44 and then 77 in the array itself. Then can I stop the insertion process now? No, we can't stop because till we have not reached the root level. So next what we have to do is, our 77 is available at the index 22. That should be compared with its parent. So its parent is stored at the index 2 minus 1 by 2. That is nothing but 0. Okay, so you have to now compare array of 2 with array of 0. So 77 is greater than 66. So again, we will be swapping them. So you can consider the array representation here. I have swapped 77 and 66. Now, currently, my node is at this particular index. Again, I have to compare this 77 with its parent if it is existing. But already 77 has occupied the root position. Definitely, it will not have any parent. So I have to stop the process of comparison. Okay, so this is the thing we are going to do in the insertion process. Now let us see the algorithm for insertion. I have explained here the program itself directly. So first we are going to declare a maximum size for the array. So here in line number 3, I have defined the maximum size as 10. That means that in my heap maximum, I can have only 10 nodes, which will be stored at the index starting from 0 up to 9. After that, I have initialized a global variable n with a value of 0. And what is this n is? It will tell you in which position you are going to insert the next element. Okay, so when n is equal to 0, when I start my program, my first element will be inserted at the index 0. Okay, so I'm going to start with n is equal to 0, meaning that my first element will be inserted at the index 0. And this n will be accessible to all the programs. So I have declared this as a global variable. Instead of that, you can even pass n as a parameter to a function. It is up to you. which method is easy that you can follow. Then let me start the insertion function. In case of insertion, I am going to insert the element which is called as item into the max heap. So for storing the max heap only, we have used the array. We are going for only array based implementation. So this array A contains the elements of the max heap. So I'm going to pass two arguments to the insert function. The first argument is the array where I'm going to insert the element, and the second one is what element I'm going to insert. First, I have to check whether my heap is having some memory to store or not. I have declared maximum size as 10. So I have to now check the current value of n. Now, n is going to indicate in which position you can insert the next element. Okay, if my array is currently having 10 elements, the index will be from 0 to 9. So n will be having a value as 10. That means if I have any element, that should be inserted at the next position as 10. If that is equal to maximum size, what is the meaning? Already you have stored all the 10 elements. You can't insert any element more. So in that case, to the user, we are printing the message that the heap is full. Then we are exiting our program, exiting our function because we are not going to perform any work since the heap is full. Then suppose if you are not exiting, if you are going to continue with this function, it means that there is some memory available in the heap, so you can insert the element. So in the slide, I have explained that whatever is your element to be inserted, first you will insert that element as the last element in the array. Then only you will start up your bubbling up process. So insert your last element in the array. For that, n is going to tell me what is the index of the next free position. Okay, so that I am going to take as a current position. There I am going to insert my last new element. Then current is going to tell me the current position where I can insert the new element. Then the item is nothing but element to be inserted. I am going to store it the array at the position current. So A of current is equal to item. When this is done, you will be adding the new element at the last index of your array. After that, you have to start comparing the new element with its parent, and you will check whether there is a need for any swapping. So for that, you need to get the index of your parent. So if current is the index of the child node, the parent will be available at the index of the child minus 1 by 2. So I'm doing now current minus 1 by 2. This will give me the index of the parent. Then I have to compare the current node with the parent value. How long I will be comparing this process? Till current is equal to 0. If current is 0, I have to stop my search because I have reached the root node. Root node will not have any parent. So I should not continue if current is equal to 0. If current is not 0, I have some parent, so I will be starting the comparison process. Okay, so in the while loop, I am giving two conditions. The first condition is current is not is equal to 0. That means a node is having a parent to be compared. And second, if the value of the current node is greater than the value of the parent, then only you have to swap. If it is not greater than the value of the parent, definitely it will not be greater than nodes at the previous levels also. Okay, so the second condition in the while loop is if A of current is greater than A of parent, then only I have to compare the nodes. So there are two conditions now. If both the conditions are satisfied, then you have to swap your process. Okay, so for that I am using AND operator. AND will be true when both the conditions are true. That means I have a node which is having a parent, and also the value of the node is greater than the value of the parent. So I have to swap now. So for swapping, there are 3 steps involved. First, we will keep a temporary node. We will copy the current node value in the temp. After that, we will copy the value of the parent in current node. Then we will copy temp in parent. So these 3 steps, that is 18 up to 20, are for swapping the nodes. And once you swap the node, what is our next step? You have to compare the newly swapped node again with its parent, which will be available in the previous level. That means you have to make current parent as a current node. Okay, so I am writing current is equal to parent because I have to search in the previous level. If I am in level 1, I have to search with level 0. So I am making current parent as current. Then for that node, I have to calculate the new parent. So I'm using the same formula. Current minus 1 by 2 will give you the index of the parent. Then do the loop again. You will be continuing in this loop when these two conditions are true. If any one of the condition is false, you will come out. That means that you will come outside this loop in two ways. One is you have reached the root node, so don't continue as comparison. So you come out. That is the first case. Second case is you have not reached the root node. You are in the middle level of the tree only, but current node is less than its parent. That means there is no need for any swapping. So you come outside the loop. The tree is already following the heap property. So don't continue with the loop. So I am coming to line number 24. In line number 24, this is very, very important. I am incrementing n by 1. So what is the meaning of that is, n is going to tell me in which index I can insert the next element. Okay, so when I started n is 0, after I insert the first element, the next element can be added at the index 1. So I have to increment n. Every time when you do the insertion process, you will be incrementing n. Similarly, when you do the deletion process, you will be decrementing n value. And since this n is declared as a global parameter, no need to return. Suppose if you have declared this as argument to a function, then you have to either pass by reference, that is the address, or otherwise you have to return the value. Okay, so implementation, you can follow anything as per your convenience. So this is the function for inserting a node in the maxheap. Now let us see how to delete a node from the maxheap. So in case of deletion, we will always delete the root node. Then whatever is the last element in the array, that element we will bring to the position of the root node. Okay, so here, this is my array. I want to delete. So first I'll be deleting the root node, which is available at the index 0. So 77 will be deleted. Then I will bring this 44, which is the last node in my array, to this position, that is to the index 0. After I bring that, then what I will do? After I bring this node, I will compare 45 with both its children. So for that, I will pick up the first node as this one, that is 55. I'll compare whether this 45 is greater than 55. If so, I will swap them. Otherwise, I will compare this 44 with 66. If 66 is greater than 44, I will swap them. Anyway, I have to find out of these three nodes, I have to find the largest value. That should be the root node. That is my target. So 3 nodes are there. Whichever is maximum in that tree, that will be the root node for that particular subtree. Once I finish that, some part of the tree, either the right subtree or left subtree will be changed. You have to proceed in that subtree till you reach the last node in your tree. Right? So now let us see how we can proceed with this. So first I am going to write the function delete root. To this function I am going to pass only one argument, that is the array which contains my maxheap. I am not going to pass the item to be deleted because whichever item is available at the root, only that will be deleted. We can't delete any element as we like. So no need to pass that as the argument. Now, inside the function, I am going to first check whether n is equal to 0. When n is equal to 0, it means that my heap is empty. I can't delete any node because n value will tell you where you can insert your next element. Okay, when you can insert your next element at the index 0, that means no elements are available in your array. So you print the message that your heap is empty and then you can return to the main function. If not, some element is present in the heap. So you can delete the element. Which element I can delete? Only the element which is available at the index 0. So immediately I am printing the message that item deleted is %d, a of 0. Because I can delete only the element at the index 0, that is the root of the maxheap. That will be the maximum element at that particular point of time. So now your process is over. You have deleted. After that, what you have to do? Bring the last element in your array to the position of the root. So for that, in line number 55, the last element currently will be available at the index n minus 1. Because n is going to tell you where you can insert your next element. So the lastly inserted element will be available at the index n minus 1. that I am going to store it in A of 0. That means I am bringing the last element to the position of the root. After that, I have to start arranging the elements so that they satisfy the property of the heap. For that, I'm going to call another function called heapify. Okay, so to this function, you have to pass two arguments. The first argument is the array which contains your elements of the max heap, and the second argument is you are going to adjust some part of the subtree. Okay, so whatever is the index of the root node at that subtree, that you have to give. Okay, the second argument is very important here. It will not be always 0. Okay, when you start your first time, when you start your process, you need to consider the entire tree with respect to the root node, because now root node is having, maybe it will have some smaller value. You have to bring the maximum value at that position. So when you start your process, first time the second argument will be 0. That is the root of that particular subtree. And this value 0 will be changing when you proceed with your algorithm. Now let us see how it will change later. And finally, when the deletion is over, you have deleted one node. So the last statement must be n minus minus. In insert, we have added 1, whereas in case of delete, you have to subtract 1 because we have removed one element from the array. Now let us focus on this heapify function. In case of heapify, it is accepting two arguments. The first argument is the array which contains your element. So declare the first argument as an array, and second argument is index only, so it is an integer value. So this I is going to tell you what is the index of the root of the current subtree you are considering for heapifying. Okay, so that is for adjusting the nodes. So first I am going to start. I am going to assume that this I contains the largest element. It may not be having the largest value. Try to understand one thing. I is the index only. Okay. For example, when we start, I will be 0. Okay. And you have to compare the element at the index 0 with the element at index 1 and 2. That is the children. You have to compare. So first I am assuming that the root itself is the maximum element. So I'm storing the index of I in a variable called largest. So largest is going to tell you in which index you have the maximum element out of the 3 elements. You're going to totally compare 3 elements. So out of the 3, whatever is the index of the largest element, that will be stored in the variable called largest. Initially, I'm assuming that the root itself is the largest. Then I'm going to calculate the index of the left child and the right child. So your left child will be available at the index 2 into I plus 1, and the right child will be available at the index 2 into I plus 2. That I'm storing in the variables called L and R. Then what I have to do, I have to check my root with the left child. If the left child is larger than the root, I have to change the index of the largest node. Okay, so for that I am writing if A of left is greater than A of largest. That means my left child is greater than my current largest node. So I will make largest is equal to L. This is the index, whereas A of I and A of largest are nothing but the value of the elements. Okay, so I am making largest as L. That means if I compare 0, currently if my left child is greater than that, largest will be 1 now. Okay, then I will come to this condition later. Then you will check your current largest with the right child also. Okay, so I am now comparing whether A of array, that is A of R, is greater than A of largest. That means the current right child is greater than the largest index, largest value. So in that case, I have to write largest is equal to R. When you finish line number 36, largest will contain the index of the node which is having the largest value out of the 3 nodes you are considering. Okay, first we have started with largest as the index of the root itself, then we have compared with the left child, then we have compared with the right child. So this is the condition. One of the condition is this in the if statement. What is the second condition? Suppose if my root node is the last node, let me check here. Suppose I have reached here. This is my root node. I want to compare this root node with its children, but it is not having any children. How I will know that? For that only I am writing the first condition. So the first condition is if your left is less than n. That means that you have some children which is available till the end of the array is reached. So you can compare. Suppose if L is greater than or equal to N, it means that no child nodes are available for that particular node. That is the leaf node. It doesn't have any children. So don't go for any comparison. For that only we are writing the second condition. Okay. N is going to tell you in which index your next element can be stored. Okay, so I can start my process till my L or R is less than N only. If it is equal to N, it means I have reached the last node, so I cannot continue further. That is the second condition in the if statement. So whatever may be, when you compare to line number 37, largest will give you the index of the largest node out of the 3 nodes. Now you are going to check whether you need to swap the root or not. Sometimes the largest may be the root index itself. That means that root is already in the final position. No need to swap. When largest is not is equal to I is nothing but index of the root node. Okay, and largest is index of the largest node out of the 3. Suppose if both the indices are same, it means that root is the largest node. So no need for any swapping. If they are not equal, then only you will do the swapping. So here, when they are not equal, I have to do the swapping. So for that, again, I am writing the 3 lines for the swapping. I want to swap A of largest and A of I. So I am writing 3 lines for the swapping. Okay. So once I do that, I might have swapped one subtree. Then I have to continue the process again with the current root node in the subtree of that root node. So for that, I have to call the heapify function again. So now I am calling this function by passing the entire array, but this time I have to pass the index of the current root node. When I started, my index of, you can consider line number 56. When I started, my root node was available at the index 0. So I have called the heapify function with the index 0. But currently, one part of the subtree is subjected to the maxi process and it is perfect. You have to compare only the remaining part of this tree. Okay. So for that, whatever is the largest node, that will give you the address of the root node which you have currently swapped. So that should be compared with its children only. So call the heapify process only with that index. No need to compare the remaining nodes. Okay, so you're going to call the heapify with the first argument as the entire array and the second argument as the currently swapped root node. And this process will be repeated and it will come outside this process when these conditions are satisfied. That is, when your tree is completely heapified, it will come outside the process. So this is how you can delete a node from the heap tree. Now let us see how you can print the elements. Here we are going to do the printing by means of level order traversal. Level order traversal is nothing but you will be filling the, you will be printing the elements level by level. That means first you will print the element at the level 0, then level 1, level 2, and so on. Now, if you consider in level 0, my index will be 0. I will have only one node with the index 0. In level 1, I will have 2 nodes. They will be at the index 1 and 2 in the array. Then in level 2, I will have 4 nodes. They will be at the index 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I am going to print the nodes level by level. That means first I will be printing the node with this, which is available at the index 0. Then the nodes at index 1 and 2. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So I'm going to write a simple for loop for that. So I'm passing the array to be printed as the argument to the print array function because I have stored all the elements of my max heap in the array. Then inside this for loop, I am starting with I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Why I am doing this one is in my array, I have stored all the elements level by level only. So I am printing simply by means of this index. In the main function, first I am going to declare the array by means of static memory allocation. So I am writing int array of 10. 10 is my maximum size. Then I am totally inserting 6 elements in the array by calling the insert function 6 times. You can even write menu-driven program, but I have simply called the functions to make my job easy. So first I am going to insert 7, then 5, 4, 12, 18, and 20. So these are the elements to be inserted, and I'm going to insert them in the array called array. And then after the insert is over, I want to print the elements and check whether they are inserted properly. For that, I'm going to call the function print array. I'm going to pass the entire array to this function. Then after I printed the array, I am going to call the delete root function. Okay, so I have given the name as delete root because I can delete only the root in the max heap. So for delete root, we are going to pass only one argument, that is the array that contains the elements. No need to pass the element to be deleted. Once you delete the root element, print your new array. For that, I am calling the print array function by passing the array. After that, I am going to delete the second element. So I am calling delete root for the second time and passing the entire array as the argument. Then after the deletion is over, I am going to print the array again by means of calling the print array function. So first, when we print our max heap, we are getting the elements as 20, 12, 18, 5, 7, and 4. If you see this one, we are printing by level or traversal. That means whatever is your root, that will be printed first. So here, out of all the elements, root is the maximum element. That is the property of the max heap. Then we have called the function delete 2 times. When we call the function delete for the first time, it will delete the maximum element which is available at the root. That is 20 will be deleted. So item deletes is equal to 20. After that, we are printing the new max heap. So in the new max heap, 20 will not be available because we have deleted. We will have the remaining elements. But if you see the remaining elements, they are not printed in the same order as the previous tree. Because in the previous tree, after 20, we have only 12. But in the new array, they are printed in different order. But if we look at this again, whatever is maximum out of the remaining elements, that will be at the index 0. So that is the root of the new tree. So every time we are printing the root of a new tree first. So in the new tree, the maximum element is 18. That is a root node. So that is printed. Then I'm going to perform deletion one more time. So when I delete, currently 18 is the root node, that I will be deleting. So item deletes is equal to 18. After that, I'm printing the new heap again. After I delete 18, these 4 nodes, that is 12, 4, 5, 7 will be in the new heap. So whatever is maximum out of these 4, that will be the root of the tree. So 12 is the root. So that will be available at the index A of 0. And remaining also will be satisfying the max heap property. You can draw the diagram and you can verify it. So with this, the program to find our program to perform insertion and deletion into the max heap and then printing the elements by level order traversal is over.